What's up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. And on this episode of I Bought Chinese Parts So You Don't Have To, we have a couple to feature here today. Here we have the bolt together rear bumper. It is two pieces and you end up bolting it together, and I will honestly say with this one, not too bad. Sensor holes are all actually perfect. Bumper is actually pretty thick, and all my plan was to come in here, sand this down, weld it together, mud it real quick, get it flat, and then this whole thing would be one piece. And for the price, I didn't see a problem with that. So this is honestly pretty good. Came with the cover and all that. However, I forgot to bolt one more piece that came in the kit over here. This bracket. I forgot to bolt that in, so I got to take all of these back out, put that bracket in there, and then this will be good to go. But honestly, rear bumper that bolts together, you can honestly probably leave it if you wanted to, but I'm obviously going to weld this shut and make it look like one piece. Now the front bumper, on the other hand, I didn't think this one was bolt together, but it showed up, and here we are. Now you could probably bolt this together and do the same thing, weld that up right there, that seam, and then do a good amount of body work to hide that. I don't really want to go through that trouble to do that, especially on this truck. I was thinking that this was one piece, but I guess I missed that. Also, secondly, these sensor holes look like the plasma table was having a bad day. All of these are all cut silly on this one. Like, that's not even a circle, that's just, I don't even know what. And over here, there's that. And then this one over here too is all just not cut right. So like I said, I honestly thought that was one piece, but it wasn't. And honestly, don't recommend it if you were thinking about trying it, because like I said, I mean, maybe the one without the sensor holes, but those sensor holes are definitely not cut right. And honestly, compared to this, these are perfect. But also on today's episode of I Bought Chinese Parts So You Don't Have To, look at these. This is honestly a little find here, because if I'm not mistaken, these have got to be made by the same people that make the OEM ones, because these are spot on. Even on the back, the markings, the fonts of this are all pretty similar to OEM. I mean, it looks good. Quality is pretty much, I don't know if the plastic back here might be a little thinner, I don't know, but it's pretty on point. Especially this lens. This lens is honestly pretty much 100%, other than obviously the fact it doesn't say RAM, which I don't really care about. Honestly, this was a good find. I think these were 250 bucks. I'll put the link in the description, but I can't believe it. That looks so good. I'll throw these in here for a second. And honestly, they look good enough to just leave and not color match them. I may do that, I may not, I don't know. They look good. I was gonna tin them and tape them up and get them to be black and green, but that looks so good. So overall, we're 2 for 3, not too bad. And I'm really excited for these, because those are gonna, oh my gosh, they look so good. They look so good on the Banana, and I think they're gonna look really good on here. Alright, so while that front bumper has got me all messed up, and I gotta find, I think I found one place that can actually sell me a one-piece one, so trying to figure that out. But until we figure that out, because that's gonna take a couple days to get here anyway, I think it's now time to completely give this truck its new look, and that involves customizing these headlights. So what we're going to do is actually come back in the morning, and I'm going to teach you guys the whole process on customizing a set of headlights for your truck, even down to here's your clear marker replacement. And even just doing that, this headlight looks so much better. So even if you're doing something that small, and not actually two-toning it or doing any of that, even the small things make a front end. Now, the only other thing we really need to customize up here is this ram's head, so I'm going to go ahead and show you guys how to do that too. When we're done with it, this truck is going to look completely different. So I know you guys only seen this for this is your second time now like this, but it is no more, because once we customize this, it's going to look way different, way more aggressive, and it's just gonna look, oh, it's gonna look really good. Might as well stay busy on this and finish the top half of the front end. It's really gonna pull it together just itself, that's for sure. And you guys will be able to see the green truck's new look. Okay, so it's the next morning. We got the headlights out of the truck. They were just sitting in there anyway. But I'm going to show you guys this whole process straight out of the box to a fully customized headlight. Give you some tips, some tricks, see what goes on along the way. I'm going to show you how to get this chrome out of here. Hopefully it takes, but I'll show you a little trick on that. I guess we'll just get going here. So obviously step one, get them out of the bag. You're not gonna, if you're just installing the headlights, yeah, keep the plastic on, keep the lenses clean until you get there. However, we're about to put this in the oven, so this would melt straight to the lens and cause some serious issues. So make sure you remove any protective layer that's on there. Man, those lenses look good. Brand new. So obviously you guys can see, trying to color match this, you need that bezel that's inside, and that bezel that's inside is screwed into the lens itself to hold it in place like that. And then our trim piece inside, if your headlight may or may not have a couple layers, that is going to be screwed behind this bezel. So we got to get in there. First thing you're going to do is take your headlight, flip it around and check. Some different brands or some like OEMs, they'll have little screws up here or around the corner that are actually holding the lens in. So before you go and try and pry them, make sure you check, make sure there's no Phillips screws or anything holding the lens to the I guess the casing or the housing of it. So this one we look like we're pretty good. Nothing's screwed in, nothing's extra secured, which is good. Anything back here, really, you don't have to worry about it. It's gonna all go in the oven, especially because most of these things end up being hardwired or something to stuff inside. So the next step is putting this thing in the oven. And before we put these in the oven, I will say there's another way to, I guess, separate these, and that is to cut them. Some OEM housing headlights you have to cut, but this, because I've done so many of them, this housing is pretty easy to split open, pretty simple. There's no reason or need to cut them, but you can. And if that's the case, you just need to make sure you're cutting pretty much right against where it kind of connects down here. And if you do that, you're usually good enough to get behind the things that are keeping the bezel screwed in, and that'll be good. Like a 5th gen OEM headlight, I did a set of those. I had to cut those open, and then you seal them, plastic welding them shut, silicone, all that. But this, we do not need to cut them open, and unfortunately you will run into some instances where you have to cut them open. You can use like a little Milwaukee tool. If I find it, I could show you guys, but on this specific housing, we should be a-okay in the oven. I got the oven preheated to 265, anywhere literally from 200 to like 270. Sometimes some housings, some rubbers don't heat up enough, but we're at 265. We're gonna do it for 5 to probably about 7 minutes. It should heat this up enough for us to get a good pry on it. Hopefully we can remove it in one shot, but most times you're going to be going in and out of the oven a couple times trying to get this thing loosened. But like I said, this is an easier housing, and hopefully we can do it pretty quick. You can take wet cardboard, put it down, put it in the oven, and then put this on top of it. It's really all up to you. Most of the time I'll just take this and just set it straight on the rack, just like this. Now be careful, because once you do this, everything is gonna, it's gonna be hot. The whole thing, the whole headlight. Be careful taking it in and out of the oven. Gloves would help, but sometimes I just like to get in there and pry and deal with it. So I'm gonna set the timer for about 7 minutes, and I'm actually gonna go grab the tools, and I'm just gonna put a piece of cardboard down here so I can, something to pry on top of. But yeah, just let it cook. Here's just a collection of prying tools, couple small screwdrivers, little plastic tools, couple panel tools. This sometimes is good, plug popper. You can get in there and give it a little pry action while you're working it, so sometimes that helps. Another panel tool, pry bar, flathead screwdriver, other plastic tools, anything to pry with. You need to get things to go back and get things under to lift up. Just all the prying tools. I see plastic's a little softer, but sometimes you need some leverage to get these things out of the channel. Okay, so the timer's up. We're gonna just take the headlight out and literally start prying. It's gonna be hot. Ooh, that's hot. That's hot. Ow, that's hot. It's really hot. So the gloves obviously help. It's gonna cool for a little bit. Try your best to not touch the front of the lens because it'll get some fingerprints and stuff kind of baked in there. Okay, so there's these tabs on the side, these hard plastic tabs that go into the lens. They're almost impossible. It definitely can be done, but to make it easier on yourself, they end up just breaking. You can always re-secure them and plastic weld them on after the fact. I don't know, but usually you can get them secured, but they just don't bend like these do, and that makes it really, really difficult when now you can just get in there and get the point that actually needs the most leverage to lift up. Okay, so first time in the oven, I just went around, kind of broke the seal that I could, just so I could get my tools in there every angle. And I'm gonna put it back in the oven probably for only about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna get out and I'm gonna try lifting this side of the lens up and out. And then eventually, if we work our way down, we should be able to slide it out of the channel that way. Be careful because things are plugged in behind with wires, so once you get it out, don't try and yank it out because you might rip some wires out. Got to be gentle but forceful. So put this back in the oven and hopefully we can pry up this time and get it to release. Okay, so honestly, lucky this time, 2 runs in the oven. I just kept going at it, honestly. Usually it gets really cold, which it did. But if you're able to actually get the channel split enough to get something underneath the piece that goes in the channel and start lifting it up all the way around, it comes off pretty easy actually. But here, as you can see, like I said, you have all these wires connected. Be careful of that. And as you can see, it's 2 pieces. And the, oh my gosh, I remember these on the Banana now. The screws go in from the back on this, and it's going to be a pain, but we'll get it. As you can see here, the whole bezel is attached to the lens. That's why you got to be careful, especially when you're cutting, because you don't want to cut off any of the mounting points, because then your headlights are done. But 2 pieces there. We'll get to tearing these things apart here in a second, but I'm going to get the other one split open so we can just do it all equal and at the same time. So I'm gonna go move this, swap it out, and we'll get the other one in the oven. Okay, so now that we got both headlights separated, what we're going to do now is lift this apart. We're going to get everything unplugged. Usually everything only plugs in one space, but kind of make note, I'm still going to probably take pictures just in case, but make sure when you unplug things that if the same size plug is in a different spot, make sure you know where it goes so all your functions and everything work correctly on any headlight. But what we're going to do here is we're going to be able to take our lens and pull it out. This one's plugged in, which we will need to remove, and then there's a whole bunch at the bottom that I honestly want to get to really quick because that's strapped in. So alright, these look to be all different sizes, so you shouldn't have an issue putting them back in. Okay, so here we are, our lens is separated. We'll get to that in a second here. Honestly, anytime you're working on this stuff, try and keep the dust out of it. It's not going to be perfect, and you're going to have things like the sealant chips and stuff you'll have to deal with, but try and keep the lens as clean as you can. Now we're looking at this. There's a silica packet in here. It looks like it actually fell off, but just to absorb any moisture that's in the headlights. And then here is our inner bezel, like I said, that is we're actually going to two-tone. And I remember this on the Banana because they were similar headlights. They didn't have the newer bezel on the front, but this can be removed, and for some reason it gets put together like through the back, and I think that's how I got it out last time. And if you do that and look in here, you kind of have access to those screws that you can take off and put back together. Okay, so one of these helps in this instance. Now, not every headlight is like this. You don't need something crazy every time, but the way this 4-beam projector situation is put on there, it's very difficult to get off and then unscrew this, so it's easier just to unscrew this. But if you get something that's flexible in there, you'll be able to reach the screw. It's here, and then you got one down there, and about right here you can reach all of them through the back holes. The most difficult one, they're all straight shot except this one up here, and that's what this is for. So you can get it up and around, and then you can watch yourself through here and line it up to the screw up there. But other than that, take off the 4 screws and this will come off. Okay, so now this is the bezel. This is going to be our, I guess, green section of the headlight. As you can see, we have things plugged into, or I guess wires ran into these for different LED boards and such. So kind of be mindful of what's what. As you can see, there's a couple over here that aren't exactly easy and removable. Might need to do some grinding. But all the screws here, we're going to remove the LED boards, disconnect where these wires are zip tied, and then we will be able to take the bezel out of that. Step 1 is going to be remove the LED boards. Okay, so here, as you can see, this is loose in here. It's secured by this, I guess, plastic weld. You just kind of gotta break. Don't break the LED board, but if you can break the plastic weld off, which is usually pretty easy, it should come off for you. Kind of like that. This will then come off, and when we put this back in, we can epoxy that down so it doesn't come out. This goes underneath this part of the bezel. Don't forget that. You can tuck that down. Here's your side marker, and then now we are left with the bezel. Here is your amber reflector. This is how that'll pop out. We'll get that all swapped out. But first, I think they also tried to plastic weld it here, but I think we're unsuccessful. Yeah, already broke that free, so that's good. Now we're just going to take out the screws that secure it into the lens. And wow, it's actually 2 pieces. It's actually the light pockets, and then it's the front bezel. Okay, so all we have left is this screw and this screw up here, identical. And then underneath here, you can see all of these, the bezel is actually, it's kind of like under some some of the sealant, so be careful. But those tabs and even down here, they're kind of popped behind things, so you're gonna have to kind of work it out of here. But there's 2 screws and it's kind of just snapped in there tightly, and the other points. So get these screws out. Okay, and like I said, pop the front, work these out from the lens, and then like I said, just kind of work it up. Obviously it's gonna get caught on some sealant here and there, but you can, especially down here, you'll be able to pop that out and around. And then it's wanting to get hung up on this point. There we go. Just like that. Here is your entire headlight bezel. It's actually really weird. Usually these would be these would pop out, but they don't. The only thing that pops out of these is the reflector, which you can push down on these tabs, and there goes your orange reflector. And obviously when we're done, the clear one will be going back in. Okay, so here's obviously the headlight completely disassembled. We got one more to do. We're going to repeat the process on this headlight. Literally exactly the same thing, but everything's flipped direction. So we're going to do that, get all this split up, and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we have both headlights split open. Honestly, I'm at probably about 2.5 hours or less on this, not really counting. But like I said before, unfortunately, these little clear parts are like, I'm trying to figure out how they did this, because it's like clear, but the chrome just goes around it. There's no lens. I already went and got a bunch of degreasers so I could soak the chrome off, but I don't want to do that anymore. I even asked a buddy on that too about soaking these with the reflectors in there. He said he wouldn't. Definitely not going to risk it. This is my first time seeing a headlight with built-in like clear reflectors that can't be removed, so it's new for me. Not every headlight's like this. Like I said, depending on what it is, what car, what truck, what aftermarket or OEM brand it is, everything will be different but similar. So it's just all things to take into consideration if you're going to take on this project. I've done many sets of headlights, so like I said, I'm at about 2 hours on these, and these are an easier split than some, and they don't need cut. It's not a terrible job, but it's just going to get real tedious here now that we have to tape this off and scuff around it. Giving us the opportunity to two-tone this. However, I might be able to spray this down, I'm not sure. But two-toning this with the black and the green, this is going to look sharp. And it was actually funny because Ashley and I were talking earlier that like a lot of people like really want color matched headlights, but obviously they cost a lot, because I mean you can tell it's kind of ridiculous of what you got to do. It doesn't take too much time, but mind you, we're only at the beginning. We still need to get all this stuff prepped, swap the colors on it, and bring it back, cure it, put it all back together. You know, there's still a lot more to do, but once you know how to do it, just like Ashley and I were talking earlier, it's like well, now we're just randomly doing this on a Tuesday and taking our time doing it because we can. So hopefully somebody out there is using this tutorial to their advantage and learning a new skill, because this is definitely worth it. Alright guys, it's actually the next day here, but what we're gonna do is actually get this all scuffed. I've been talking back and forth with one of my buddies who used to customize headlights, but these, I mean, they're just reflectors, but I don't want to leave an edge that, you know, I want to clear the whole thing. So I think I'm going to actually scuff this entire lens, and then I'll tape it off before it goes green, and then I will untape it and then clear the whole thing. I think that's what we're going to do, just to give it that, give it a nice finish. But yeah, I didn't want to tape it off and not clear that, and then leave a lip down there. So we'll get the whole thing cleared and sealed in there, scuff this up, and we'll scuff this up as well. And then when we're done with these, I'll might as well just show you how to get that emblem out of the grill and separate that as well, so we can get this whole front end customized and change the whole look of this truck. Okay, so we got the headlights all scuffed. I was at it for literally hours. Don't make this video think it's like, oh, quick and easy. No, it does take time, especially chrome. If you're gonna do this, I do recommend black headlights, but I just had chrome ones on the shelf. Yeah, it does take time, especially chrome and chrome headlights. This chrome grill also gonna take time. Luckily, we can fit a sander here to do most of this. However, I will also show you how to customize this, because a lot of you probably see different trucks that have the grill and then the ram's head and the backing plate here. It's kind of like a 3-color thing. So the ram will be green, the trim will be green, and then the back of it will be black. So you'll get that depth of green, black, green, and it'll really pull the whole truck together. To do that though, just like the headlights, you're gonna disassemble the entire grill, which includes this honeycomb insert. You flip the grill over, it's bolted in there, and then right here, your ram's head is kind of held in by 4 tabs. There's also 3M on the back. It's also like, there's a big thing of 3M, so it's stuck in there. You're gonna have to kind of work it out, that's for sure, because it's also stuck down. So when we get the head out, I'll show you how to separate it. But for now, each of these you're gonna be pushing down on it, pulling up, get these clips to slide out as you're tugging the honeycomb out. After you unbolt it, you just start taking it apart, and you'll be able to get that ram's head out of there. Okay, so we got the grill all sanded down, scuffed up. On chrome grills, bumpers, whatever, if you're doing that, you don't want it to shine whatsoever. Also, the grit sandpaper you use is like less than advertised on chrome for some reason. This is 220, and it almost has, I mean, it's a little more aggressive finish than what Red Scuff Pad, which is about 320, 400. You want to get it all scuffed up. This 220 on here feels nice and smooth. It'll fill in. As for our emblem, you saw us take that apart. There's a bunch of little like stubs on the back, and they go through these holes in here, and it meets up like this. If you flip it over, you saw there's like globs. It's just like a plastic weld, a little iron, heats that tab down and seals the front ram to the back plate. Drill bits, like a plastic welding iron, anything of those sorts. You can then kind of put something in there, pry it up, and it'll kind of gently pop off. Now's the time that you're going to get these things painted. There's a multitude of ways to do so. I think even Eastwood sells some. If they do, I'll put a link down below. But you can buy your color matched auto paint in a like a spray paint can. A little more expensive than normal spray paint, but it still does exactly what you need. Primers and all that can come in spray cans too, so don't think you need to go and make this a huge project and go paint this with like an automotive paint gun. You don't need to. You can literally use those automotive cans of paint, sealer, primer, all that. They even make 2K clear in those spray paint cans too, which is, I mean, it'll give you the finish that you're looking for. You don't got to go crazy, but I mean, and you could do all that in your garage too, no problem. So that is definitely an option. Don't have to go do that. You can obviously drop it off at a body shop, have them handle it too. From this point, get it painted, prepped, or whatever in your desired way. Choose your color scheme, all that, and make it happen, because now's the time. You did put in a lot of work to get here, I could tell you that, because I mean it's been probably about five hours we've been at this. So plus the hours yesterday and the extra time that it's going to take you to either drop this off at a body shop, paint it yourself. Like I said, it is a decent amount of time. That's why things like this are so expensive. But if you know what you're doing, you can literally set aside some time, take the parts off, set them aside before you even put them on, and knock this out yourself in your free time. Yeah, we'll come back and we'll get all of this put together. Okay, I almost forgot taping off the headlights. There's a couple ways to do this, both of which are 3M products. The 3M Automotive Refinish Tape, this yellow stuff, great stuff. It gives you nice lines, all that. It'll keep your edges, you know, as long as you tack them down, and it sticks very well. With these especially, you'll need a nice primer sealer to really etch in the paint and really, you know, keep all of the plastic and oils and chromes and all that stuff underneath it. So a nice sealer on this will be nice. It'll get you set up great for the coats of paint on top of that. So any chrome, like I said, very good primer, very good sealer, and you should have no problem as long as it's very well scuffed. Taped off the front and the back, because any overspray or anything, you don't want it coming around the back and getting stuck to that lens, and then now your lights are lighting up black, white, green, blue, whatever, red, whatever color your truck is, unless you wanted to do that. And now these are ready to change color. We're here, it's time to see the results. Okay, so whenever you get your parts back from paint, or they're all cured if you do it yourself, I'm going to show you how to put it all back together now. Step one, we're actually going to put the emblem back together. That requires a little bit of epoxy, and that'll all seal back together just perfect. The rest of it should all snap in, and then the headlight is going to be exactly reverse of how you took it apart. However, when it goes back together, it's going to look way better, that's for sure. So this is just Harbor Freight epoxy. You can get the, you know, whatever brand you want. It just doesn't matter. Quick setting epoxy. Mix A and B together, and then what we're going to do is press this in there, and then every little hole you see, you'll be able to flip it over, and just that tip of that peg will kind of pop through all the holes you drilled out. Fill it up, and then glob it around the little indent from the drill bit, and then this thing is not going anywhere. We'll start off with that, and then we'll work our way all the way to the headlights. Okay, so we got our emblem all put back together. The epoxy's dried, 15 minutes maybe. I put a piece of 3M right back where the other one came off. Peel that off, and step one of putting this grill back together is literally putting the emblem right back in. Just like that, the whole grill has been taken apart, customized, put back together. We're going to flip it over and see our results. I think this is going to look really sharp, especially with that honeycomb insert and the ram's head instead of the whole ram grill. I think this is going to look way better. Not looking. Still not looking. Oh my God. Man, that looks really good actually. Wow. That looks really good. Man. I could have taken this a step farther and like cleared these so they were gloss black, but I still like that look. all looks sharp, really came together. Obviously you saw what we started with, but now we're here. Oh my gosh, that looks really good. Okay, so now we got this customized headlight bezel here. Both sides are untaped, obviously. We untaped the back of this and it's all ready to be put back together. We're now gonna insert our clear reflector instead of our amber. Obviously gonna make a huge difference in there. Boom, like literally huge difference. Really changes the whole vibe. So definitely need these in a set of custom headlights. Link is below. Clears makes them for a variety of headlights, not just these, different vehicles as well. Same ones we put in the Bronco. It makes a variety of these, and we'll definitely upgrade any of your custom headlights. So we're gonna pretty much now put this thing back together. Opposite, we took it apart, get everything screwed in and buttoned up, everything plugged back in, and then I'll catch back up with you when we get to the ceiling part. So yeah, let's get these things put back together. Okay, I also forgot to say, before you do any of the reassembly, clean off as much of the rubber sealant as you can. Just take a razor blade, trim it. Like I said, doesn't have to be perfect, but if the more you remove, the easier it is to put these things back in the channel with the new sealant. So take off as much as you can. Doesn't have to be perfect, but get a good amount off. Now we're just gonna flip this over and start assembling this. Okay, so we got both the front lens assembled, all the wires are kind of ran correctly, and the this, I guess, projector bezel back in there. Now we're going to be very careful putting it back together so everything hooks in nice and pretty. Make sure it's all cleaned out. Any dust, debris are both out of the lens. There's no fingerprints on the inside. That's why gloves are good, and just try never to touch the inside of the lens because you'll be fighting fingerprints forever. But now I usually use the Morimoto Retro Rubber, but it was like, for some reason, a week shipping, and this was just next day on Amazon. This is just cheap headlight butyl rubber. Literally comes in a roll like this. You'll peel this back. As you can see, you want to put it all in there nice and neat in the channel, stretch it out a bit. We'll get the lens set in there. We're gonna have to stick it in the oven, heat it up to get it a little bit warm, and then we can really compress it. But for now, we're just gonna get everything plugged back in, get it all set nice, and then we'll do the other headlight, and then we'll take turns in the oven getting those together. So let's do it. Okay, so this thing looks amazing. All we have to do left is seal it back up and then get it installed on the truck. To do that, we're going to put it back in the oven, 265. It'll help that butyl rubber get real soft. Again, you got to work with it quick, but it'll get it soft enough where you can press it together, kind of get all the tabs back and locked down, and it'll be good to go. So what we're going to do right now is put it back in the oven. It doesn't need to be 5 minutes. I mean, maybe 3 to 4. It'll get soft enough where you can close this thing up. Okay, so now after all of that, it's time to finally put it all back together. Get your front end, get your new look installed. Here is the daytime running light harness for the Alpha Rex headlights. I went through and taped them all up so it looked a lot neater and nicer. One of these will run to each headlight. The headlights do have a yellow plug, so we will run this to the driver's headlight, and then the other two will go on the battery, and then your gray wire here is for key power, just like the Morimoto's, where you're gonna, it's asking for a fuse, so we'll make it neat. Just tap that, and then when you turn the key on, the headlights, it'll flip the relay in here and turn the daytime running lights on. So we're gonna run those wires where they need to go really quick, and then we can put the headlights in. I'm not gonna wire them in right now, batteries are dead, and I gotta do a lot of other wiring for other things on this truck. So we'll do all that at once, but we can at least get everything installed and see how it looks. Well, there you have it. Look at that transformation. I think I was standing in the same place at the beginning of this video. Look at how much different that looks. Look at how much better that looks. And all in a few days time. Now, if you guys were obviously doing this yourself, you could probably do this in 2 days. One really long one. If you were just pedal to the metal on it. But a nice weekend, you should be able to take it off Friday and have everything back on a Sunday, if you just, you know, worked at it all day. But man, that looks really good. Those custom headlights, man, I can't get enough. Look at those things. Our grill, switched it up a little bit from the last time we had this grill. Last time I just ordered the black ram's head, but two-toning it obviously adds different layer of depth to it, and it honestly wakes up this front end with the color matched headlights. And stepping over here from this side, man, that looks good, that looks aggressive. I love how those turned out. I also went ahead and ordered black fog lights, so the way that little black insert in there looks is going to look really good, because the bumper, how the bumper itself like kind of sucks in where the fog light is. It's going to suck in, so it's going to look like a bezel, and then the little, you know, the black fog light in it. I think that's going to look really sharp. I've had a lot of requests on how to do this. You know, like I said, I've done it before, but I kind of try to go in depth for you guys on this. So if you guys wanted to attempt this or wanted to do it, you can. Obviously, like I said, we did the heat and pull method, and at the end there you saw me put some silicone around it. Sometimes when you pry a lot, those channels get a little, you know, gouged, a little widened, and I just sit there, put some silicone in there to just double check, make sure everything's sealed up. However, if you do the cut method, what you're going to do is cut that lens off, and then you're going to melt it, like plastic weld it back together. You can also literally go to Harbor Freight and get your plastic welder. I have, yeah, like this thing, plastic welding kit, and literally just go around the edge, weld that thing back together, and then when you're done, what you're going to do is take that, you know, take a tube of black silicone and just go to town, tape off. You tape off an edge, so it's nice and clean. Then smear it, seal that thing up, let it dry, you know, take the tape off, and that would be sealed up that way. I just can't believe how good this thing looks, and literally that's just 2 things, like literally the chrome to this, 2 things we did, and this whole truck looks way more aggressive, way better. Ashley was just telling me it looks modernized, and it literally does. Cleaned everything up. and like I said, just a couple days work, and this thing looks incredible. There's not much missing other than the bumper and those harnesses sticking out from underneath the hood. I went ahead and ordered a whole front bumper for this, you know, one piece ready to go, and we'll get that thing put on. These harnesses, I got to wire just the daytime running lights on these headlights, and then I got to run wiring harness for some rock lights just so I can have them. We have our conversion for 4th gen to 5th gen LED tail lights, and then with that includes these 2 wires that we will run from the BCM. We'll run them from the BCM, turn some things on in alpha OBD, and this whole thing, this truck will run like it's got 5th gen tail lights ready to go. You need that harness in to connect it to the BCM, because the way those tail lights work is the amber turn signal is also the brake light. So the red and amber are the same function. So something about if there's signal from both sides, it determines that that's a you know, a brake, and if it's flashing, it determines it's a hazard. So just the way that works is all in the BCM, the way it notices the changing. But the way I did it on the Banana, Retro Shop makes a harness that has relays like externally and built off of, or modules externally, and it's taps right into your trailer plug, so you can do that and it'll do it all itself, plug and play, ready to go. I did that on the Banana, that was great. However, this time around I just saw the modules as a thing that could go bad at some point, or one fries out or something gets wet, and that's the reason why I wanted to just hardwire it this time, and it's just a normal taillight connection, because I don't want to sit there and consistently work on this thing. So if I can hardwire it and make the truck recognize it as it should, then I'm gonna do that instead of doing external thing or extra modules that I gotta go service or swap out if they go bad, just so my taillights work. So that's why I wanted to do it this way this time, a little more complex, a little more factory, just like wiring the Longhorn interior in the Banana too, pinning out the fuse box on that one to get all the seats to work. Same difference here. So that wiring, the rock light wiring, and then the wiring for these headlights is all the wiring that's really left. Once I run those harnesses to the back, follow like all the factory stuff, run that all nice back there. Once I run those to the back, the bed can go on. We'll drop that fast down, put the bed on. That'll be complete. And also I gotta throw the front drive shaft in and fill up the T-case. So next week we should see this thing whole. It's gonna look crazy. My wheels are, I mean, they should be getting cut or starting to be cut like around now. So it should all show up and be here all at about the same time, hopefully, if not a couple days. I wouldn't mind driving on these, feeling how some stock tires feel for the first time in years. We got lots to do to it still, but getting this thing, you know, roadworthy is my #1 goal right now. And front end was a major part of that. And man, doing this, getting that all together looks so good. Alright guys, well if you enjoyed this tutorial, shoot this video a thumbs up. If you haven't been here before, please get down there, click subscribe, drop me a comment if you haven't already. Let me know how you think this looks. Take care. I will see you guys in the next one. This thing should be looking whole very, very soon. I'm so excited. It's looking good the way it's turning out. This is incredible. But take care guys, and I will see you in the next one.